Alright, so this is finally the best thing the Marine Corps has probably done in a long time, and seeing YouTubers go into Marine Corps training has been one of the best videos I've been able to watch in a while. Here's why, stay tuned. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right into the topic, and that is the Marines have sponsored videos with a couple big YouTubers. Michelle Khare, I'll put the other names down here because I just watched her video, and if you want to watch that, link down below. I'm just going to cover the highlights. I am a Navy corpsman. I'm not a U.S. Marine. I have worked at the MCRD for a little bit, and I've been around that, been around DIs and stuff like that. I've definitely seen what Marines go through. Being a corpsman, you're out there, you see Marines coming in from the Crucible and things like that, and you understand what evolutions and Grass Week and all this other stuff that they're required to do. So I understand contextually. I've been around that community to understand a little bit. Obviously not a Marine, not claiming to be one, not trying to be one, because I know some people like to say I'm envious of Marines. I'm not. I like being a Navy corpsman. But let's get to the video highlights. I don't want to do anything because copyright, so I will show you highlights. Yes, if you want to watch the whole video, watch it down below.
I do all of this to get a better understanding of what thousands of men and women every year go through for the Marines and our military in general. I get to be joined by 3 other YouTubers this week: Lucas Gomez, Jesse LaFleur, and Caleb City.
I think the authenticity of even the uniforms of Michelle, she literally is in the getup of what a Marine recruit is going to look like. She even has a little name tape on the side. They didn't even sew it on or anything because obviously you do not use your name. There's no I in Marine Corps boot camp. It is this recruit. Every time that I've dealt with recruits, they never refer to themselves as I. It's this recruit.
They come on the bus and kick our asses on the bus.
All of you look at me now. Scream, "Aye, sir!"
Aye, sir!
Get on my bus. You are now aboard Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Paris Island, South Carolina. And you have just taken your first step toward becoming a member of the world's finest fighting force, the United States Marine Corps.
They get to go on the bus. They get to stay on the yellow footprints. My only qualms with this part of the video is she's not having the experience of the middle of the night screaming. You know what I mean? And I understand it's obviously an isolated group, which I get, but there is a sense of like the unknown, right? Like when you are going there to really join the Marine Corps, you have that anxiety of just like, there's no getting out of this. I'm going to pass this whether my bones break, I bleed, I cry, whatever else. And so, and that also comes with you prepping for boot camp through your recruiter, going through that process, taking the ASVAB, and also going there very late at night. You don't realize how fatigue can actually wear you down and treat every situation differently when someone's tired. People think they'd act very differently. You'll show the true colors of people that internalize and all these other factors of how they compartmentalize their feelings and moods. So yes, my only qualms are that it's not at night.
It was massive information overload. They were screaming at the top of their lungs at us, ordering us to perform repetitive tasks. At first I didn't really understand the point of this, but then it occurred to me, it's really important to know how to listen and execute quickly in a high-stress situation.
Now, I like how she picked up on the authenticity of being ordered to do the most minuscule task. You know, obviously, they're not real recruits, but they get the idea of the minuscule task of look up, look down, you know, put your shirt on, take it off. The immediate obedience to commands. Like, that's one thing that is key in boot camp. Don't question it. I need you to do this, because in a real wartime situation, you're gonna need that. And obviously you can see she's starting to think of this in the mindset as a Marine, not as a civilian, but as what it actually takes to be a service member. And you're gonna do a lot of really dumb tasks, especially in Marine Corps boot camp. There's dumb tasks everywhere, but my favorite one that I saw drill instructors do was they would go like this. Like, recruit, get out of my face. And then they'd be like, come on back, come on. Hurts my throat.
Anyone ever say to connect that top one? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Then why would you do that? Look silly. Want me to fix you, you little girl?
No, ma'am.
You're a little girl?
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
26, ma'am.
26? But I gotta fix you, right?
No,
I
ma'am.
love this drill instructor that corrects her in regards to her uniform, like wearing it and how to wear it. You guys are gonna mess up, obviously. You could look up how to wear everything, but realistically, you guys probably aren't gonna do that. You're gonna get there, follow instructions how you're told, and just go with it. And honestly, that's what I would suggest. Boot camp, you don't really need too much preparation. Just go with it. If you pay for it, it's because you probably didn't listen. But yeah, Michelle learns firsthand the attention to detail of A, uniform, B, the regulation of what the Marine Corps expects. Trust me, if you go into some kind of exchange on base, or you're walking on base and you're not wearing what you're supposed to, someone's gonna call you out and correct you. If you're out of uniform, people notice it because we are so militant in the way that we examine people. Like, we know how to read it and what's right and what's wrong instantly, where a lot of people that are civilians won't understand that.
Then they told me to climb up the A-frame, and that was terrifying. Will I climb back down after? How do I?
You haven't made it that far yet. Just do it.
What if I fall?
You're not gonna fall.
Scared of my arm strength.
You don't need arm strength. Just take one more step. Stop thinking about it. Take one more step.
To grab a rope and slide down it? Hell no. For some reason, the instructors had more confidence in me than I had in myself, and that really got me through it. I'm really, really glad I got through it. And
now, Michelle has to climb down this rope on the A-frame. I think that this is an important lesson here for anybody that's joined the military, or even Michelle. She does a really good job because I see it as like two pieces of the puzzle to get a whole picture. So she's able to climb up the rope originally at some other station and go back down, right? Then she has to go from the top of this A-frame, jump on a rope, and then go down. So it's like putting two pieces together and trusting yourself, realizing that we have a lot of irrational fears. The military is one of those things that you are gonna realize it's okay to fail, or you may fail, but it's irrational a lot of times because you haven't tried it, you haven't committed to it. So you learn what commitment actually means. And I think that's a really valuable lesson, which
I just fired M16. I don't know how I feel about guns and just that whole thing in general. I feel like I've always had this perception of guns are really scary.
There you go.
Yeah! It's actually really fun, but it felt empowering to be able to have control over it and understand what I was doing.
This part, Michelle breaks my mold of what I think of her. I guess guilty by association and me being naive. I'm gonna be honest with you. She is a prior BuzzFeed person or employee, and she would make videos. And obviously most people that think of BuzzFeed are thinking leftist. I'm not super right or left. This is not politically agenda based, but I could see the same turn in myself because I did not touch weapons. I've never shot guns or weapons before I even joined the military. And then a lot of times it can be intimidating. So if you're coming in, you've never shot a weapon, and you're like Michelle, probably never touched one ever, you've known anyone that had one, anything like that, I just realized very fast that it was a tool, and you can see that in her interactions with dealing with the weapon. And again, she reinforces that she is in her mind a Marine, you know, and you see that. Even though this is for a video, I feel like she kind of takes on that role as she thinks that way.
Then when we broke the seal, immediately fire in my eyes, down my throat. It smells like fireworks and a barbecue and hell all at the same time. And as I'm preparing and like undoing the straps, the seal breaks again and my whole mask floods. I can't see or do anything, and I'm like wavering around the room, and I collapse immediately.
Whoa, the gas chamber. Yeah, that one, it's a doozy, right, Michelle? She did not clear her mask properly, and if you're in Marine Corps boot camp, you'd have to do it again, or at least from our training, we had to redo it again if you didn't do it properly. You have to know how to clear a mask, and this is for CBRNE attacks. And I love seeing anybody come out of any gas chamber because honestly, no matter how pretty you are with your blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever you got rocking, you're gonna come out looking ugly. You got snot coming down your nose, drool coming out of your mouth. And if you're sick like I was at boot camp, I was literally hacking out like yellow snot from my nose, my mouth. Like I just couldn't stop coughing, but it cleared my lungs pretty good.
Went through some shit today.
Probably not gonna be here tomorrow.
do not leave us.
Yeah, sorry.
And we are one person down today. Caleb decided to go home.
I was actually talking to Caleb yesterday, and he told me he wasn't coming back today, and I thought he was joking, but turns out he was dead serious.
Oh, we had that option? We're allowed to do that?
So like I said, this includes more YouTubers, right? But this guy quits after one day, and you're not even really into boot camp. I didn't understand it. You can say as a person that's voluntarily being there as not a recruit that, hey, I'm going to sit this one out. I don't want to do this. I'm uncomfortable. If just because you don't want to look like a tough guy or something, you know. I think that this honestly tells a big determining factor, and that is heart. And I'm not saying Michelle's a weak person. I'm saying that Michelle was able to make it because she put heart and effort into it. This was only a few days, where this guy gave up after the first day. Credit for coming out. Always give people a round of applause for anyone that at least tries to come to the show. But I'm telling you this right now, heart is what's going to win at the end of the day.
The best way to describe the physical training this morning was primal.
Two more. Pull. One more. Get up on the bar.
Hi, sir. Doing pull-ups, push-ups, squats. They were constantly on us. Feels like a primal shock to your entire system, mentally and physically.
From my experience in the military, 10 years so far, it has literally been calisthenics. Any of these types of boot camp type trainings, they're calisthenics. A bunch of running, jumping, burpees, whatever else you can think of. It is just insane. So it's a lot of yelling, and they're getting in your face, trying to have you push yourself. And what I love about it is I think a lot of people that are going to boot camp can pass their fitness test right now and do pretty well. The thing about it is they don't have the mental toughness yet to push past what is good pain versus actual I'm hurt pain. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you'll know there's two differences between those different types of pains.
Let's go, jump.
Get the chicken wing. I'll kick your leg up.
Let's go, hurry up. Oh, get up, go, keep going.
I'm in.
Don't stop.
An inch will do. Just keep pulling.
I don't think I can do this.
Hey, dude, you're not just gonna get away without doing anything. You only 15 burpees.
Aye, sir. 3.
All right, towards the end of the video, she's doing the O course, and the O course is not easy. It took me 10 years until I finally actually got to run one or understand it, because obviously corpsmen, we go through training to be with Marines, and it's not easy. I think a lot of people don't understand. It's easy if you've done it and you've trained for it, right? But my first go around on it, it wasn't easy in regards to that and getting used to what to expect and things like that. But it's definitely not an easy course if it's your first time or you haven't been through any kind of physical conditioning and cannot climb up the rope, which I will say, sadly, that was the same thing as me. I got up half the rope and I was just exhausted. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't get up. I've gotten up plenty of ropes before, but the same situation. I'm not sure what happened there, but eventually, just like they made her do in the video, they make her do burpees and to accommodate for her not being able to do the task. Eventually, you're like, I'd rather do the task than the burpees because the burpees are more labor intensive. You probably give 1,000,000% to get over whatever obstacle is there, just because it's easier than burpees typically.
Michelle,
I'm in.
that hair is better be fixed tomorrow. Would you go out looking like that?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Exactly the same thing here.
I'm in.
So you got a long time in this chow hall. So you eat your food, and you might want to go to the head and figure something out.
I'm in.
Point of the video, Michelle gets yelled at again. I don't know why it took so long for someone to correct her on her hair. It's in the beginning of the video as well as at this point where her hair is not Marine Corps rigs. I respect females a lot for how much they have to deal with to get their hair in the bun. Many people that are not in the military don't understand this. They have what they call flyaways, like your baby hairs, right? And normally people are like, yeah, put up in a bun, but the Marine Corps is like so attention to detail. It is slicked back, like literally gel upon gel, whatever else they use. It's pretty burdensome for a lot of females to put their hair up every day. I love the true authenticity of this, and like small details like this. I don't know if Michelle understands that authenticity comes through in the video, but I'm glad at least the drill instructors kept that authenticity in their interactions with her.
who are at the very end of their training. For the past 54 hours, they have been doing pretty much all of the events that you have seen us do so far, with maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep. The very last 3 miles of the Crucible hike. At the end, recruits will receive the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor and be called Marines for the first time. If I hadn't gone through the training over the past few days, I don't think I would have been able to fully appreciate the importance of this moment.
For the last part of this video, they have them do a 3-mile ruck as these recruits are finishing up the Crucible to receive their EGA. 3 miles is really not that long in regards to hikes. Marine Corps, you can get up past 20 miles if you're really prepping your guys and everything's going through as far as training goes. So it can get up there in the mileage, just to give a full disclaimer. But yes, they hump it, and obviously 3 miles isn't a lot, but it shows kind of that beginning of the just getting the uniforms all the way to the end where they are getting the EGA. Well, they don't, but this is what I'm going to say. The Marine Corps, whoever the command was that decided that, I was so glad, because as I was watching it, I was like, I hope they don't give them EGAs. Not because I've earned it at all, but I know what it means for Marines to get the EGA. I don't even have an EGA on my cover for my MARPATs because I haven't earned it. There's other parts of the uniform that have it, but for our cover, we're not authorized to wear a EGA cover. Definitely understand. No one wants to take that away from Marines because they've gone through 13 weeks of hell to do that. So definitely very tasteful. They got a little coin. I think it's some kind of command coin to kind of show the initiation to, or their respect for them coming out to actually participate. So shout out to Michelle. If you haven't seen her, you're living under a rock. But as far as a military member that's been in the military for 10.5 years, I can tell you guys this is very authentic. As much as it's the highlights, I understand that, but I'm very proud of the production and the representation of the military, and it obviously super tasteful. And I feel like she goes above and beyond for the challenges, and just respect and kudos. So tell me what you guys thought. Did you guys think that it was a good video? Did you know down there in the comments below? But as always, guys, if you guys do have questions about the military, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.